My name is NonnaGrace. I want to talk about some things that I have done in the past that have helped save money and also have made it's actually beauty products. I don't even use beauty products, but these are beauty things that I did when I was younger. I don't do many of them now, but I do these two things when I do them. Okay, the one was I was watching Foxy Roxy, and she had mentioned a vinegar solution that she had bought that was extremely expensive, I felt. So I left a little message, and the thing is, it's for your hair. And what you're supposed to do, and you could do it so cheap and so inexpensive, and I used to do this all the time. When I grew up, we had well water. And in our well water, there was a lot of iron and minerals. We didn't have the egg smelling water, thank goodness for that. Across the street had the egg water. We had the hard water. So that meant you used a lot of cleanser to keep your sinks clean. My mother used to use the cleanser Zud, and that was a really abrasive stuff, but it would clean off the rust stains that would be on the sink. So our sinks sparkled. But anyways, what I'm getting at is when we would wash our hair, we would rinse our hair. After you washed it, and you do this every time, you would put a 1/4 cup of vinegar in a liquid measuring cup. You got to use those liquid ones. And then you would put, the rest of the cup would be water, and you would pour that over your head and you rub it in. You rub the stuff in. I don't worry about messing my hair. My hair is so simple. But you rinse it, and if you have dark hair, you use the vinegar. If you're a blonde, there's a difference to this, because the blondes would use lemon juice. You'd use a 1/4 cup of lemon juice and 3/4 cup of water, and you would pour that over your head. I use nice warm water, nothing that's going to scare you to death, because you can use colder water if you want to close the pores in your hair. If you've got really oily hair, you would use a cooler rinse to rinse it. And if you don't like the smell of vinegar, don't worry, because it evaporates, it's gone. And the same thing with lemon juice. It's like it evaporates, the smell evaporates. But if you do feel like you want to rinse it again, you could rinse it again with warm water, warm tepid water, and it would take that little bit of extra smell out. But you want to rinse it with the vinegar if you've got dark hair, and lemon juice if you've got blonde hair. I have gray hair, so I use vinegar. I don't think it changes the color of my hair any. And if you notice, years ago, there was a lot of old ladies with gray hair. And their hair, they might be white at the top, but as the hair got longer, a lot of these women wore knobs. They wore their hair up. They didn't cut their hair short like ours, like mine. They would wear their hair up, and that knob would always be a yellow. And the reason it was yellow is all the stuff from the water was gathering and building up on the hair. Now, my mother had gray hair, but she did not have, her hair was very pretty color. The white was white. And the reason was she rinsed it with the vinegar water. And that keeps that buildup of product or minerals from the water. If you've got well water, it will keep it from building up on your hair, and your hair stays nice, and it makes your hair feel cleaner. It really does. There was another thing I wanted to mention, because I notice a lot of you polish your nails. I don't polish my nails anymore because I keep them very short, first of all, extremely short, because I play the ukulele and sometimes the guitar. I'm not real good at the guitar, but I like the ukulele. And your nails need to be short, and so it seems like I'm cutting them all the time. But if you're going to polish your nails and you use all those pretty colors, when you take the polish off, I'm sure you notice they're orangey looking. They're stained. To avoid the stain, what you want to do is you want to polish your nails with a clear polish. Clear, just the shiny polish first. Polish them with that first. Then put your color on top. And you'll find that your nail beds don't get stained with the polish that you're using, because it could be, after a while, you look like a smoker. You know how smokers, their fingers turn like orangish? Years ago, people that smoked, there's not a lot of people that smoke anymore. At least I don't see them, because now they're not allowed to smoke in public places. But their fingers used to turn orange, and their fingernails would turn orange. Well, the same thing happens with polish. Your fingers will turn that funny color. So you just polish them with a clear polish over top, and then put your polish on, and you'll find that they don't turn orange or yellowy or looking off colored. That's basically what I wanted to tell you. Those are two things that cost you nothing pretty much, but yet it helps to brighten your hair and keep your nails from turning yellow. Also, those of you that have spoken about wanting to let your hair go natural, it's a long process if you've got long hair. When I let mine go natural, what I did is I cut it all off. I let it grow to a point, and then I just cut it really short. And I've kind of liked it short, so I've kept it short. But if you've got long hair, and I understand you don't want to cut it off, what you can do is you can do lowlights and highlights. Now, how do I know all this stuff about hair? Well, I should probably back up a little bit. I am a licensed hairdresser. I keep my license up. I do read a lot about the new products and the new things that come along. I am not a practicing hairdresser other than I cut one person's hair every 4 weeks. And I do my husband's, and I used to do my children, but now I have daughters that are hairdressers, so we just go to them when we want to. I do my husband, and I do one girl. The girl, I've been doing her hair over 40 years, and I tried to convince her to go to my daughter, but because she's been with me so long, she'd rather just stay with me. So a lot of this is stuff that I've learned through beauty school, and some things have not changed, and some things are more modern. And like when I was in beauty school, there was no mousse for the hair. You had Dippity-Doo. Do you remember Dippity-Doo? That gel that was really stiff. Well, you know, I like the Dippity-Doo better if you add a little water to it and lighten it up a little bit, because the gels today have a lot of water added to them, and that's what makes them so much easier to put on the hair. We used to set our hair with the great big huge rollers. I remember people ironing their hair. Now they've got a flat iron that you can use on your hair that's portable. But we used to lay our head on the ironing board and iron the hair and hope that they didn't get our scalp. And then we would set our hair on the big rollers, or some people used to use juice cans because their hair was really long and they wanted it really straight. Straight was the thing. Now curl is in. Curl is a lot prettier, actually. Those of you that have curly hair, don't try to straighten it. It really looks prettier curly. And then we also, what else did, the perms. This is so funny. The perms used to have this funny little skinny nothing when my mom would get a perm, and I said, my mom, she don't need perms anymore. Her hair, actually, as she got older, the natural curl was starting to come, and she had poker straight hair as a young girl, so she had to put her hair up in bobby pins all the time. The kids today wouldn't know how to do a jab curl. You jab your finger, what it was is you jabbed your finger into your scalp and wound the hair around and then put the bobby pin, and you crisscrossed it so that it would stay put, and then you'd sleep on your hair over the night because your hair didn't stay very good if you put it under a hair dryer. So you would sleep with it overnight, and I remember my mother, she would wrap her hair in a wool, it was a wool, like a wool scarf kind of thing. She would wrap that on her head, then she put another hat on it, and that's how she went to bed. I used to just put a hairnet on mine and go to bed because I used to have really long hair. Now I've got really short hair. But those are the things that have changed. The Dippity-Doo was all we had to work with. We didn't have a mousse. We didn't have these products that could help your hair get volume, and there was no volume to it. If you didn't have hair, you didn't have volume. They used to tease a lot in the 60s. A lot of people were teasing and ratting their hair. And it's funny because even the terms for when you'd go to get a haircut, you'd say you'd want a tapered haircut. Well, today if you said tapered, they'd probably buzz you up to nothing. You have to watch the terminology, what you use if you're older. I would just explain what you're trying to say rather than use the old terms, because the old terms have a whole different meaning today. So that's that. I guess I'm done telling you about stuff that I did as a child. I should start this video all over again because I felt like I went off track really bad. So I will say goodbye and talk to you at another time. My coffee's getting cold too. I did put a cup of coffee here. I was going to have a little sip while we talked, but I talked so much that I didn't drink any. So I will say goodbye so I can have a little coffee. I might have to heat it up again. And the cuckoo clock is cuckooing. The grandfather clock is probably going to chime, so I'll leave before that all happens. So goodbye.